Greetings, my fellow nail junkies. Welcome to Nails Over Coffee. It's December 2nd, and I'm going to flip my camera around here. Hi, everybody. Chat is open, so if you have any comments on what we're talking about, feel free to chime on in and feel free to give me some hearts. Today I have Eeyore. Oh, wait, you can't see Eeyore on that side. There we go. Today I have Eeyore. Felt like it was an Eeyore sort of day. So here we are on December 2nd, and I can tell everybody is super busy with their guests because everybody is super quiet. But what's really coming up on the group seems to be a couple of really interesting conversations regarding nail art and how to charge for things and what to do when you have a client come to you and something who's a new client who has stuff on her nails, or you do a regular client with some art and something goes wrong. So we're going to talk about some of those things. The input from everybody has been pretty fabulous. And but the first thing I want to cover, it's in my photos here in my handy dandy ding iPad, is Gemma Lambert over in the UK does classes. And I wanted to show you guys this because I think it really underlines the importance of why you can never get enough education. So Gemma posted some before and after pictures. She was doing a lesson with a tech who was already pretty well advanced. But the interesting thing is that she posted a before and after picture of what the tech did before her training with Gemma and then what she did after. And I really think it does underscore the importance of continuing education. So I'm going to hold this up and let my light adjust. There we go. So the top nail is the before. And I think we can all agree that that would be a very pretty, well done stiletto nail. But look at the after. That is what her lesson time with Gemma taught her. So, oh my gosh. I mean, look at the difference in the structure of the way the nail bed's shaped and the depth of the smile line and everything. Isn't that fabulous? So I just wanted to point this out because I think that a lot of times we think of education as sort of optional. And I think that that is a really good example of why you're never too experienced to continue to take classes. It's one of my favorite things. I'm going to give a shout out to Nicole Atwood. It's one of my favorite things to see that when Nicole and Bruce are at a show for Atwood Industries, in case you don't know who Nicole and Bruce Atwood are, and they sell e-files and bits and those kind of things. And when they're at a show or a networking event, Nicole is a nail tech and she's taking classes on the days that she's not teaching classes. And I think that that is fantastic. So I think it's, like I said, just a good reminder that no matter who we are, we still have room for more education. So on to the Facebook group. So in Scratch Phoenix, Shira posted a question that I thought was interesting and it got quite a bit of action, which is she was just throwing out a scenario and wanting to hear what people would have done. So maybe people could get some advice from it. So the scenario is, let's say you have a client who you just created the most amazing holiday nail art on. She totally loves them and she pays you accordingly. 3 days later, you get a phone call saying she really doesn't like them and her husband thinks they're tacky. Have you experienced this, and how would you go about handling this scenario? Which I think is pretty interesting. So it seems like everybody has said in some way, shape, or form that they would apologize, say that, they're sorry that she doesn't like them and that she feels that way. But I think that offering to redo them at a reasonable price seems to be the common answer. And And so I think somebody, Meg mentioned in a salon, we have a 3-day policy. If they call within 3 days, we'll redo the service. And I think that's kind of an interesting thought on that, that idea. So there is something to be said for that, that maybe within a certain, it really just depends on your policy. But it should be clear whatever your policy is. So, yeah, I mean, if somebody called within 3 days and you offered to redo it just for the price of the art, that would be, an idea. And like I said, since the fill would still be fine, I would offer to redo the art at just the art price, $15 per 15 minutes. Since it's not my fault, since we decided on it. But Shira then posted back to me, what if the service was an acrylic backfill with colored acrylic? What would you do then? And I would say that she either needs another backfill if we're going to change colors. Unfortunately, that's the downfall of doing things with acrylic, with colored acrylic. Or I would offer to put gel polish over them for the gel polish upcharge only. And it seems like pretty much everybody determined that they would charge, you know, for whatever still needed to be done. So there was a client, Karen Hicks actually said, I've actually had this problem. I did a gorgeous turquoise glitter press over gel polish on acrylics. Client loved them, then called me the next day because her coworkers were making fun of her color. I redid them the next day and just charged her for the gel polish since I already did her acrylic fill. She was happy and she became a returning client. So I think that that is, and then this one was my favorite. It's really long, but this was my favorite. I actually had this was Christina. I actually had this exact scenario with the bride one time. We live in a large Indian community, so vibrant, bright, colorful wedding nails are very common. I did a beautiful set of turquoise, purple, gold, and lots of embellishments. A very expensive set. She called me that night after her family from out of town showed up and said they did not like her nails. They said they looked trashy. She was super upset and didn't know what to do. Yes, she loves her nails and paid for them, and I don't owe her anything. But as a business owner and a kind person, my heart goes out to her also. I allowed her to come in, and I redid them for her, but at a discounted price. The only time she had was 9 p.m. in the evening after her henna party. Her hands were covered in henna, and I could not soak her nails off. So I used my X-Cut bit from Young Nails and I gently filed off all of her nails with no damage to her natural nails. And I did a full set of reverse pink and white. They were beautiful and she loved them. She ended up paying me full price for the service and she sends many of her friends to me due to the customer service that I offered. So in the end, it was a win-win for both of us. And I think that that is, I think that's sort of the common thing that we got out of this is trying to make sure that you don't alienate somebody. It's just really kind of a bummer when that happens, isn't it? Because that's the thing about art. And I think that that's part of the thing we need to remember with the runway, Pinterest, etc. to streetwear is that, you know, there's And also thinking about when you're doing art on a fill, how are you going to change it when they come out in 2 weeks? Like Shira posed the question to me about using colored acrylic, and I love colored acrylic, and it's great if the client knows that they need to have a backfill done the next time, or every time they want to change color or what have you. But it gets really time intensive if they're going to change the color on their whole nail every time or those kind of things. So I find that in those situations, I tend to go more towards a gel polish, an additive or ombre or those kind of things because they're going to be so much easier to remove the next time. So that's an interesting thing. If I had anybody in the chat room here with me, I would be asking but I don't have anybody chatting. So see, this is why you guys need to show up so we can chat. So the other one that I wanted to talk about was in the CNTC. Let me pull up the CNTC in here. And it was a similar type of thing, which is Michelle said, not me, Michelle, other Michelle, just so that you know, it's only the third most popular name ever. Saying, I have a lady wanting to book with me for a fill. My policy is I do not work on another tech's work unless I know the tech. I feel I can't guarantee my work if I don't know what I'm working with as a base. With chop shops all over the place and the amount of MMA I've removed because of my policy, I just can't budge. She used to go see a tech I would have done work over. She wants me to file them to that point and fill, but that was a minimum of 4 weeks ago. Even if she was a client of mine, after 4 weeks, I would charge her for a full set. How do I go about letting this woman know I in no way want to work on the acrylic she currently has on? And I want to do so as nicely as possible. So here we are with another client situation. And I feel like there was a lot of comments on this. And I think that because it's already in your policy, Michelle, like, I think it's really easy to just say it doesn't matter who she came from. It doesn't matter, you know, but maybe that whole, and I think this kind of came up to in the end was the agreement of everybody was saying that you would do the fill, but you wouldn't guarantee the work. And I think that that's fair. I think you also probably could have gone the other way. I mean, it's just all in your phraseology. If you just said, you know, normally I don't fill over anybody else's work, but because I know you're a technician, I would be willing to do your nails the same as I do the rest of my clients. So my policy is after 4 weeks, it's a full set price. So since you've been longer than 4 weeks, I'll do them for the full set price and we just won't have to do any of the removal or anything. So, you know what I mean? Like, you could have also gone the other way, just saying, oh, I'm so glad you're coming to me, but I, I'm going to treat you the same way I treat the rest of my clients. So, but there was some different discussions on if there are no breaks, this commenter just charges for a fill. And, but it seems to be, oh, and then one person, that seems unusual to me. I'm always happy with 4 to 6 weeks for fills. Lordy be. I like, and somebody else said, geez, I have one who goes 8. Her nails grow ridiculously slow, though. So as long as they're all still on, that's a fill. So that's kind of cool. I mean, somebody saying if the old gel is halfway down the nail plate, do you charge for a new set or less than that? I think it really, a lot of times, just depends on how much work it's going to take you. You know, back to that, our cost per service is should be pretty set, but our time also is somewhat set, as you'll figure out, and if you, University of Nails cost per service video, which Elaine Watson is having a conversation on her personal Facebook page today. You know, once you know your cost per service, once you know all of your numbers, answering some of these questions is way easier because you know how much it's going to cost you. You have a pretty good idea of how long it's going to take you. With technology, when you've got these weird client questions like, hey, how much are you going to charge me for a fill? I tell them to do the Pinterest claw and send me a picture of each hand. Text me a picture of each hand and let me see what I'm dealing with, and then I'll quote you a price. And it's the same reason. So estheticians have done this for years, which is for waxing services. They say something is $25 and up, or they say a service is $25 to $50. And the $50 is more than they would ever charge anybody. And the $25 is if it's just minimal work. And, you know, that seems to work great for estheticians. I went and watched an aesthetics class one time on marketing, and it was fabulous. They said, so imagine that service in the hairiest manner possible, and how much would you charge for that? And then set your price for that service $5 higher. And that way nobody's ever insulted because you're never charging the highest. so they never feel like they're the worst you've ever seen. And I think that maybe for nail techs, there's a lesson to be learned in that. I think that I noticed that when I did my service pricing this time, I use Style Seat personally. I did a lot more and ups because I wanted to leave the ability to be able to upcharge if there was something out of the ordinary. So in any case, that's a lot of that. Again, once you know your cost per service, it's a lot easier. So the big announcement yesterday was Suki covering the show while on the 18th while I'm in surgery. And, so goodness knows what he has planned. There's a Facebook event out there on it that he and I have invited a lot of our friends to. So please check your events and let us know if you're going to be there. We're shooting. I know it's in the middle of the day on a Friday. And so hopefully it will fall during a lunch break or something for you guys. You'll be able to watch it for 24 hours after on Periscope, and it'll get posted up on the YouTube channel, and also probably on the Facebook group, just because it's going to be so much fun. But please try and view live if you can. It's so nice to have live viewers, and Suki has such good energy that for him having live viewers to interact with, it'll be great. And then you can touch the screen and give him hearts. So yeah, go like the Facebook page and head on over to the University of Nails Facebook page and like that. The University of Nails is still scheduled to go live with business education. And I also just had a brilliant idea for a new kind of education that I'm going to do on service demos. So that I haven't seen before anywhere. So I'm going to sort of keep my hat on that for now. But I think that's what I'm going to do. And so the University of Nails page, it looks like, is still on schedule to go live on Monday, December 7th. And so we'll be able to start doing subscribers then. There'll be 20 to 30 videos going live on business education. And then I'm going to start working on some of these other things. I'm planning on being able to release 4 to 5 new videos a month. So for $10 a month, it'll definitely be worth the price of admission for education. More ER. And I think that's about it. It's kind of a short show today, but you guys are also busy doing snowflakes and ribbons and wreaths and holly and all of that. If you get a chance at all to pop onto any of the boards, if you don't belong to ProfNail over in Europe, you really should. Some of the Christmas art that's coming out of the Eastern European countries is fabulous. And yeah, I think that's about it. So I'm going to sign off for December 2nd, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. Bye, guys.